also known as 8vinyllow, bringing all of you another video. Today's video is going to be one of my music chat videos. If you're newer to the channel, a music chat video is one where I might not showcase new record pickups or vinyl hauls, or sometimes I don't even include records at all. I will show records in this one, but usually it is some sort of story, a concert experience, just something music related in my life that I want to talk to you guys about and share with all of you on here. And so in the case of today, I want to talk about a band from Sheffield. And I'm going to be talking about Def Leppard, specifically sharing a recent concert experience that I had a couple of weeks ago now. So, quick little backstory about my tie with Def Leppard. Def Leppard has always been a band that I've enjoyed ever since I was a kid. I feel like everybody comes out of the womb knowing the lyrics to Pour Some Sugar on Me. I feel like that's just a thing that happens. But for a lot of people, especially people of my generation, that gravitate towards older music and older bands, I feel like Def Leppard is like a rite of passage type band. And they were like that for me. They were a band when I was little, getting into classic rock and stuff like that. They were a band that I generally gravitated towards listening to, that I heard on the radio. Songs like, of course, Pour Some Sugar on Me, Photograph, Foolin', Rocket. Those were songs that I listened to all the time as a kid. Especially Photograph. That was sort of like my introduction into Def Leppard. I remember playing it on like Guitar Hero or Rock Band or whatever else, and just fell in love with it. One of my favorite songs ever. So time goes on, tastes shift, and I was never like a Def Leppard super fan, but I appreciated their music, and I could jam out to it. But they were a band that I surprisingly had never seen live until now, which is kind of why I wanted to make this video. Opportunities came up to see them multiple times over the years. I never pulled the trigger to do it. They were on tours with Cheap Trick and other notable bands, but I just never did it. Especially recently, like, I am not a stadium show person. It gets me a lot. It takes a lot to get me into a stadium to do those shows. And so they did that run with Cheap Trick and Journey and Steve Miller Band, a lot of different stadiums. It's just not my style. Well, this year an opportunity came up. It was an offer that I couldn't refuse. They announced a run of these like smaller gigs, casino type stuff, which I find fascinating. But also these like state fairs, including the Illinois State Fair. This was announced back in like November of last year, so immediately I was like, okay, now's the time to see them. If I'm going to see them, now's the time to do it. I've been to this Illinois State Fair before. I know the setup. I know how it works. So I'm like, you know what? Let's do it. Bought the tickets. Had those since November. So this all brings me to my concert experience from Saturday, August 16th, where I was finally able to cross Def Leppard off of the concert bucket list. I knew it was going to be a good time going in, but I was pleasantly surprised. I enjoyed that show more than I thought I would, just being completely honest, but I loved it. The energy was there, the energy from the guys, they were spot on, they were locked in, they were polished, as good as you can get from the music front. They sounded great, they looked great. The crowd energy was high, which, let me also add to this story, it was hot as hell, literally like the hottest day of the year. I think the heat index hit like 108. It was insane. I was sweating. It was so hot. One of the hottest shows in recent memory for me. But hey, you know, it's one of those things. It's a rock show. Let's get messy, sweaty, sticky, sweet. That's a bad joke. You gotta rock out. It's just what you do. It was so hot. So hot. But they sounded awesome, and I just had so much fun. The crowd interactions were great. Something about great crowd interactions draws me in as a music fan. If I go to a show and an artist or band's not interacting with the crowd, I'm like immediately turned off. And sometimes I get, it depends on the vibe, whatever else, but usually I'm locked out. These guys just had it the whole time. That's what I love about Cheap Trick and other bands. They just have it. These guys were on fire, literally and figuratively. It was so hot that you could just tell. But they kept going. They rocked. I enjoyed myself so much. Thought that they kicked ass live. So that's sort of my review of that. But real quickly, I do want to run through the set list from the show. So they had that sort of really cool, like, intro pyromania, like this like countdown type thing. Then they got into Rock Till You Drop, Rocket, into Let's Get Rocked, which I love that song. That's like a choir anthem. I jam to it every time. Then Fooling, another song I love. Armageddon It was after that. Then Animal, Love Bites, their newer song Just Like 73, which sounded fantastic live. Then I got into my favorite Def Leppard song, Let It Go. Then Die Hard the Hunter, went acoustic with this guitar, 2 steps behind. Then they went into Bringing on the Heartbreak, went to High and Dry again with Switch, 625, Rock of Ages, Photograph, which was so amazing to hear live. Then the encore, which was the staples with Hysteria and Pour Some Sugar on Me. Again, just absolutely incredible set all the way around. I was so pleased. They played for a couple of hours, and I do want to mention that Phil X and the Drills opened the show, featuring guitarist Phil X, who's been the lead guitarist with Bon Jovi for a while. They were solid too, but Def Leppard, man, they just had that entire place jamming, even in a billion degrees weather. So, man, it was hot. I'm like having war flashbacks. So anyway, gained new admiration and respect for these guys. I thought they were great. There was just something so special about seeing them live. Amazing live show, fantastic performance and performers. And so let's get into the vinyl. With that, I've been on a Def Leppard kick, and I've been talking to a couple of people recently about how absolutely incredible that early run of albums was. I mean, come on. You have On Through the Night, then my personal favorite Def Leppard, High and Dry. Then, of course, you have Pyromania and Hysteria. That early run, you guys, it's just so good. I have this, like, soft spot for the first two. It's just something about them. On Through the Night's an absolute banger of an album. But High and Dry, this thing frickin' rips every damn time. It has, of course, my favorite song on there, which is Let It Go. Hearing that song live sent me into, like, a whole different dimension, or maybe I was just sweating so bad. Anyway, but moral of the story, Def Leppard, I'm all in. I do want to give a shout out to my buddy Jim, legendary Jim, who loves Def Leppard. That's his band. He actually gave me a couple of these records over the years, but over the last handful of years, every time they were scheduled to play in Illinois, he'd message me, try to get me to go. So Jim, I get it now. Your band rocks. I got rocked for sure. Another bad joke. But with that, everybody, that is it for this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Your thoughts on Def Leppard, seeing them live, other really cool stories. Whatever you want to chat about, let me know. I love talking with all of you. But with that, I hope all of you are doing well. Fall is coming, which is exciting. I love fall. But cheers, guys. See you guys later.